Imagine a place where fear stops being just a fleeting emotion. It takes the shape of a real threat, tangible and crushing, as if the air around you grows heavier. All over the world, there are attractions created to frighten and astonish. But some of them hide a darker side. Places where people have suffered serious injuries and even died. The stories of these tragedies only reinforce the ominous reputation of such places. From creepy, haunted houses where the line between fiction and reality almost disappears, to dizzying roller coasters and extreme drops where safety balances on the edge. Before you are the 20 scariest attractions in the world where people really did lose their lives. Insanity at the Strat Hotel, Las Vegas's dizzying challenge. Las Vegas is famous not only for casinos and the glow of neon signs. At the top of the Strat Hotel hides a trial for those ready to look fear in the face, the attraction, Insanity. At nearly 900 feet above the ground, a giant mechanical claw carries people beyond the edge of the skyscraper. You are held by a single restraining bar, and then the scariest part begins. The structure sharply tilts the seats to a 70-degree angle and starts spinning at up to 40 miles per hour. Beneath your feet, emptiness and the city's nightlights stretching to the horizon. You are hurled into wild circles, and each rotation only emphasizes that there is nothing under you but cold air. Insanity combines two extremes, dizzying height and relentless spinning. That is precisely what makes it one of the most extreme attractions in the world. This is not just a test of bravery. It is a battle with your own brain, when your body instinctively screams about mortal danger while your mind understands there is no turning back. Would you agree to find yourself on this spinning madness almost a kilometer above the ground? Or would you prefer to admire the lights of Las Vegas from solid earth? Fujin Raijin II at Expo Land. A fatal failure. In Osaka, Japan, Expo Land once was filled with a festive atmosphere. Families came to ride coasters and enjoy the day. But in 2007, everything changed. The Fujin Raijin II attraction suddenly derailed. A car came off, and as a result, a 19-year-old student died and dozens of others were injured. The investigation showed that negligence was the cause. The axles of the cars had not been replaced for more than 15 years. This tragedy became a symbol of what happens when a park neglects maintenance. After the incident, Expo Land's reputation collapsed, and visitors stopped coming. The park tried to recover, but trust could not be restored. In 2009, it closed forever. Fujin Raijin II went down in history as an example that attractions must be maintained with maximum thoroughness. Here, a mistake cost human lives and destroyed an entire park. China's glass bridges, a walk on air and fear. In China, engineering marvels often merge with games on the edge of human fears. One such place is the East Taihang Glass Walk, a glass bridge suspended at a height of more than 715 feet above the ground. Under tourists' feet are transparent panels, creating the illusion that you are walking on air. To intensify the effect, engineers added a special effect, the sound of cracking glass. This moment drives many to panic, because it seems that everything underfoot is about to collapse. But this is only a warm-up before the main marvel. The bridge in Zhangjiajie, considered the longest and highest glass bridge in the world. Its length is more than 1,400 feet, and its height is almost 1,000 feet above the ground. The glass panels reveal incredible views of the valley while simultaneously evoking genuine terror. People stop, clinging to the handrails, unable to take a step forward. To prove the strength of the structure, even an SUV weighing several tons drove across the bridge, and the glass held. But the psychological effect of a transparent floor cannot be conquered. It turns a walk into a test of stamina and willpower. These bridges are a true challenge for those who fear heights. They prove that sometimes you can experience extreme sensations, not only on attractions, but also on engineering masterpieces. where the ground itself seems like a trick. The Verrückt water slide at Schlitterbahn, a tragic tower of horror. When the Verrückt water slide opened in Kansas City, it was called the tallest in the world. People came from all over to experience this insane descent. The tower rose dozens of meters high, and its main element was an almost vertical drop that sent the raft at a speed close to that of a car on a highway. It promised adrenaline and unforgettable emotions. But in 2016, the irreparable happened. 10-year-old Caleb Schwab, the son of a well-known politician, died. His raft flew into the air and struck a metal structure. The tragedy shook the country. The creators of the slide were even charged with involuntary manslaughter, but the charges were later dropped. Nevertheless, the reputation of Schlitterbahn was destroyed. Verrückt was closed and soon completely dismantled. This story became one of the most high-profile disasters in the world of attractions. It proved that the pursuit of records and extremity must not outweigh elementary safety. Verrückt remained in memory as the slide where the dream of a thrilling adventure exacted the most terrible price. Mind Scrambler at Playland, tragedy on a spinning ride. At Playland in New York, there once was a ride called Mind Scrambler, a crowd favorite designed to spin and disorient people. But the fun turned into a real tragedy. In 1998, a 7-year-old girl died after being thrown from her seat when she was helping others buckle their restraints. Just 3 years later, in 2001, the attraction again claimed a life. This time, a park employee, Gabriella Garin, who was thrown during a safety check. 2 deaths in a short span were a blow from which the park could not recover. Mind Scrambler was closed forever, and its dismantling became a symbol of a new era in attraction safety. These events showed that even the most familiar entertainments can become deadly if rules are ignored. And now Mind Scrambler is mentioned as a warning: no attraction is worth a human life. Perilous Plunge at Knott's Berry Farm, when splashes become deadly. In the year 2000, the California park Knott's Berry Farm launched the attraction. Perilous Plunge, a water drop with an almost vertical descent and an impressive splash at the bottom. The ride immediately became a sensation, attracting thousands of thrill seekers. But in 2001, tragedy struck. A woman fell from her seat during the drop and died. This incident shocked visitors and called into question the safety of the entire attraction. Despite what happened, Perilous Plunge continued to operate for several more years. But breakdowns, complaints, and suspicions of unreliability multiplied. The park tried to modernize the safety system, but it never managed to fully restore trust. In 2012, a final decision was made. Perilous Plunge was closed and dismantled. Although officially this tragedy remained the only one, the very fact of a fatal incident and the constant problems turned the attraction into a symbol that extreme entertainment must not conflict with safety. Perilous Plunge became a grim reminder for the amusement industry. Inspection, testing, and attention to detail are not optional. They are a matter of life. Ora Vision Park in Chongqing, an extreme challenge over an abyss. In the Chinese city of Chongqing, there is a theme park called Ora Vision that can be boldly named one of the most extreme places on the planet. Here, the attractions do not just frighten, they literally make your heart stop. One of the wildest attractions is a giant swing that lifts people to a height of more than 1,000 feet and then drops them into free fall over a deep gorge. Only a few cables hold the seat, and the sensation of weightlessness and falling chills you to the bone. But the park's horrors are not limited to that. There is a bridge with a 500-foot gap, and visitors are offered to make a jump from one platform to another. There is no room for error, the slightest wrong move, and the abyss swallows the daredevil. The creepiest entertainment is a bed suspended at a height of 1,000 feet. Guests are strapped in with safety belts, but the thought that you have to spend the night in the air swaying in the wind above the ground, can paralyze even the bravest. Ora Vision is not just a park. It is a place where fear becomes a physical trial. Here, a person is forced to look into their own depths and face their most intimate phobias. No wonder it is called one of the scariest places on Earth. Sky Serpent, the deadliest coaster in history. In the year 2023, news spread around the world about the most dangerous attraction that ever existed. It was the roller coaster Sky Serpent, built on a mountain ridge in Ora City. This gigantic structure soared into the clouds, attracting from all over the world those who craved adrenaline. The creator of the coaster, engineer Marco Bellini, decided to go to extremes, to add extreme loops and almost vertical drops. And although the attraction passed numerous inspections, fatal errors were inevitable. During the operation of Sky Serpent, several tragic incidents occurred. The loudest was the death of stuntman Alex Rivera. He decided to perform a dangerous stunt, to hang under the rails during the train's movement. But a mechanical failure occurred, and the car lost control, which led to a fatal catastrophe. After this incident, the public demanded the attraction be closed. And, despite its popularity, the authorities recognized that the risk was too great. Sky Serpent was permanently stopped, leaving behind a grim fame. Was the thrill worth such mortal risks? Derby Racer at Revere Beach, the dark legacy of wooden coasters. Wooden roller coasters evoke nostalgia for many. They are associated with childhood, the bustle of a park, and the aroma of cotton candy. But behind this charm hides a mortal threat. In Boston, at Revere Beach, there was an attraction called Derby Racer, which over time became a symbol of tragedies. Over the years of operation, several deaths occurred here. 5 people in different years were thrown from the cars. Each new death increasingly darkened the park's reputation. Public outrage grew, and eventually, after the 5th tragedy, in 1936, Derby Racer was dismantled. But the story did not end there. Soon, the park launched a new coaster called Lightning. However, it lasted only 6 years. In 1933, there was another fatal incident. These stories became a sinister reminder that neglecting safety and failing to make timely repairs can lead to the irreparable. Wooden coasters are especially prone to wear, and the slightest disregard for technical inspections can cost people their lives. The tragedies of Derby Racer and Lightning changed the industry. It was after them that control and regulations for attractions became far tougher. But the memory of how victims paid for others' negligence is still alive. Ghost Train in Sydney, tragedy in the dark. In 1979, at the Luna Park amusement park in Sydney, one of the most horrifying disasters in the history of Australian attractions occurred. The attraction Ghost Train, meant only to give visitors a slight scare, turned into a death trap. A fire suddenly broke out inside the ride. Flames instantly engulfed the structures, and people were trapped. As a result, 7 people died. The fire destroyed the entire attraction, and its causes remain a mystery to this day. Some speak of a short circuit, others suspect arson. But the investigation never gave a definitive answer. Moreover, many are sure the case was hushed up. Allegedly, officials and park owners were not interested in finding the truth. This tragedy shook the entire country, leaving a deep wound in the memory of residents. Ghost Train became a symbol that even the simplest and most harmless entertainments can turn into a nightmare if safety is at risk. Since then, the park has tightened its rules, but the memory of the fire has not disappeared. The story of Ghost Train still gives people goosebumps, reminding us that darkness can sometimes hide real danger. Vanish roller coaster at Cosmo World, a plunge into the dark. In Japan, at Cosmo World, there is an attraction that stands out among the rest, not for records of height or speed, but for its unexpected twist. This is the Vanish roller coaster, and its main feature makes even seasoned thrill lovers' hearts sink. The coaster starts out quite familiarly. Sharp drops, loops, tight turns that take your breath away. But suddenly, the train at full speed dives into a dark underwater tunnel hidden beneath the water. For a few moments, it seems that you literally plunge into the depths. This instant dive into darkness causes a real shock. Water all around, sprays, the whistle of air, and a sense of complete unknown. You cannot see where the car is moving, and it is precisely this moment that creates a feeling of panic. When the train bursts back into the light, the speed and surge of emotions peak. The attraction is not the highest or the fastest, but its unique effect, a plunge into a watery abyss, turns it into one of the most unusual and frightening attractions in the world. Are you ready to risk it and step toward this unexpected dive into the gloom? The Bailong, elevator in China, a glass tower of terror. In the picturesque Chinese area of Wulingyuan rises an engineering marvel, the Bailong elevator. It is not just a lift, but the tallest outdoor elevator in the world. Its height is more than 1,070 feet, and the entire structure is made of glass. When the cabin begins to move, passengers catch their breath. With every second, the ground gets farther away, and panoramic views of mountain gorges and green forests open all around. But the transparent walls make the ride truly frightening. Under your feet is only glass, and it feels as if you are suspended right above the abyss. An additional strain is the fact that this is a seismically active zone. Yes, the elevator is equipped with modern systems that react to the slightest tremors and allow people to be evacuated. But the thought that an earthquake could begin during the ride makes your heart beat faster. The cabin rises at 12 miles per hour, and just a few minutes turn into a test of endurance. Some passengers press themselves to the walls and close their eyes, while others cannot look away from the terrifying beauty outside the glass. Bailong is a challenge to those who fear heights. Can you step inside and calmly rise into the sky when every cell of your body demands that you stop? The wave pool at Action Park. Danger underwater. Perhaps no other attraction in the world has left such a sinister reputation as the wave pool at the infamous American Action Park. Here, artificial waves were meant to bring joy, but in reality, they became a deadly trap. The pool created powerful, chaotic waves that many simply couldn't handle. There were not enough lifeguards. Only about 12 people tried to watch hundreds of visitors at the same time. People drowned right before their eyes, and sadly, not everyone could be saved. Over the years of operation, at least 2 people drowned, and dozens of others barely escaped with their lives. And the scariest part is that many perceived this as part of the extreme entertainment, as if risk were an element of the show. Action Park became a symbol of irresponsibility. There, safety clearly gave way to the desire to amaze and frighten. And that is precisely why the pool remained in memory as a deadly attraction where fun could turn into tragedy at any moment. And mixed into this story is the fate of another terrifying water attraction, the giant slide Verr&uuml in Kansas. In 2016, a 10-year-old boy, Caleb Schwab, died. His raft lost control and flew beyond the track. After this catastrophe, the attraction was closed forever. And the question arises, would you risk trying such fun, knowing that lives have already been lost? Sky Lodge Adventure Suite in Peru, a hotel hanging over an abyss. For those who seek not only the beauty of nature, but also adrenaline, Peru has a truly unique place, Sky Lodge Adventure Suite. This is not an ordinary hotel, but several transparent capsules suspended on a sheer cliff more than 1,200 feet above the ground. Getting there is already an adventure. Guests either climb along a vertical mountain route or use a zip line to hang over the abyss and reach their sky rooms. There are no safety nets or protective fences under the capsules. Beneath you are only rocky walls and a dizzying drop. Any mistake on the way can cost a life. And even inside, travelers feel both safe and mortally vulnerable at the same time. Inside the capsules, there is everything for comfort: beds, a cozy interior, food. But the feeling that you are literally suspended in the air never lets go for even a minute. For some, This is a chance to challenge their own fears and enjoy the panorama of the sacred valley. For others, it is a genuine nightmare in which every movement causes a tremor. Sky Lodge is not just a rest. It is a trial where beauty merges with danger. Could you spend a night hanging between the sky and the earth? Scream in Las Vegas, the attraction that throws you into the void. Just below Insanity, at 866 feet above Las Vegas, lies another insane attraction, Scream. It is a small car on a short track that drives beyond the skyscraper's edge, dangling right over the abyss. The rail is only 68 feet long, and that is exactly enough to push people to panic. When the car drives beyond the edge of the building and suddenly stops in midair, passengers are left hanging directly above the city's shimmering lights. But the truly scary part begins when the structure abruptly tips like a swing. The car lunges forward another 30 feet, and it feels like it is plunging into the chasm. Then the car snaps back sharply, creating a roller coaster effect, but with a far greater sense of danger. Magnetic brakes guarantee safety, yet your imagination suggests something else. What if they do not work? This combination of abrupt movements, height, and a complete illusion of falling makes Scream a genuine nightmare for those who fear heights. But for adrenaline seekers, it is one of the most unforgettable trials in the world. China's dangerous mountain stairs, Fuxi and the Taihang Peaks. The Fuxi and Taihang Mountains in China are known as some of the most dangerous places for hiking. Here, the trails resemble deadly trials more than tourist routes. The trail on Mount Fuxi runs along a sheer cliff and has absolutely no guardrails. Every step becomes a test of nerves. On one side is a rock wall, on the other, a bottomless abyss. One misstep, and the fall will be your last. The Taihang staircase, by contrast, challenges physical endurance. Its 300-foot spiral climbs upward, forcing tourists to strain every muscle. Strength runs out, and your head begins to spin from the constantly increasing height. But the real horror lies in psychology. With each step, the sense of vulnerability grows stronger. The danger is so great that Chinese authorities officially forbid people over 60 to climb these routes. But even for the young and prepared, this is a path where your heart pounds as if it wants to break out. At the top, majestic views open up, but the main question remains: is this beauty worth risking your life? A deadly ascent on the Great Wall of China, the Heavenly Staircase at Zhuyongguan. Among the many legendary sections of the Great Wall of China, Zhuyongguan is considered the most dangerous. It is located about 45 miles from Beijing and is known for its terrifying ascent. The Heavenly Staircase. It is 70 stone steps that climb almost 260 feet up a sheer rock. The steps are uneven, slippery, and very steep. There are no railings here, so the slightest mistake can turn into tragedy. A gulf yawns beneath your feet, and on the sides are cliffs that make even the bravest feel dizzy. Instead of a leisurely stroll along an ancient monument, tourists get a real fight with fear. Every step becomes a trial. Some stop, battling panic. Others grit their teeth and continue. The panoramic views are stunning, but the terrifying thought of falling does not let go until the very top. This section turns the Great Wall from a cultural symbol into an attraction for the most valiant, where every step can be decisive. The Boards of Terror on Mount Hua, a path over an abyss. If you think you know what danger is, the hiking route on Mount Hua will shatter all your notions. In China's Anhui province stretches the scariest mountain path in the world. Wooden planks less than a foot wide, nailed to a sheer cliff at a height that makes your head spin. The length of this section is about 330 feet, and a monstrous chasm 7,000 feet deep drops below. No railings, no fences, only safety lines and a carabiner with which you clip yourself to a steel chain. Every step is a challenge to your instincts. The wind slaps your face, the boards sway, and your gaze involuntarily sinks into the abyss. Panic rises to your throat, and only force of will keeps you from turning back and refusing the route. Despite the mortal risk, thousands of people each year decide to take this route. And although official statistics are kept secret, it is known that dozens, and by rumor, about 100 people, have been unable to complete the path. For those who dared to cross this bridge of death, the reward is not only a stunning view of the mountain peaks, but also a sense of victory over their own fear. For this path is not just a walk, it is a direct confrontation with the very essence of horror. Here they are, the scariest attractions in the world, where entertainment turned into a nightmare. Some promise elation, others mortal risk. And now a question for you. Would you dare to try them yourself? Write in the comments which attraction seems the most dangerous to you.